Hickok 45. Again, you're looking at a beautiful specimen on the shooting table here. Looks a little bit like a Marlin, right? That's because it is. I told you folks when I had the 1895 Cowboy Marlin out here, the new one, that I have been tempted on these several times and I really wouldn't mind owning one. Well, guess what? In Tulsa at the Wanamaker Gun Show, I found one. I stumbled upon one, and this time I did not walk away from it. Not to mention it was priced really reasonably. You know, with vintage guns, especially, this is a JM Marlin. That's why this is kind of a new video. I mean, this is a little bit like a chapter 2, but it's really not. It's a JM model 1895 Cowboy, because there is a difference, as we all know, right? And I got this for what you'd pay for a new one. Okay, now normally that'd be kind of a weird thing to say. Yeah, you bought a used gun for what you buy a new one for. Well, if you know the JM marked Marlins and, you know, the history of Marlin, recent years, you know what I'm talking about. This is made in 2002, okay? So this is when they were making them at Marlin in North Haven, Connecticut. All right, so they're more collectible, they're more desirable still, I think. And I personally would still pay, and I don't, again, you saw, I'll link to the first video or the video we did on the new 1895 Cowboy. But personally, still, I know they're working on getting their quality control up. I would pay more for a used one than a new one. That's why that statement might seem a little odd, but yeah, to people who don't know. Because Marlin went through a transition. Look at the first video. I won't go through all that again on the new one. And yeah, you definitely want to look at it if you haven't seen it. I will definitely link to it, okay, in the description, because they've gone through some transitions and everything. So this is an older one, and I was so pleased to run into it. We were almost through the show, and it takes a long time to get through the Wanamaker show. And a guy had 2 of them on a rack. I was like, what? You know, and I hadn't seen one the whole day. And so I picked out the better one, and they were really priced reasonably. I mean, really. And so I was almost suspicious of it. And it's got a few dings here, but it's cool. It's cool. And again, quite clear. Let's shoot the thing. It's loaded. And guess what? This thing holds 9 rounds in the magazine. It has 9 rounds in it. I'm going to start out shooting some of my hand loads, so they probably won't shoot straight, right? 405 grain hard cast bullets, okay? And then we're going to go to Federal and all the good stuff they send us. We got some good rounds from them. Okay, 9 rounds. Wow. Don't tell Dr. Feinstein out in California about that, or Chucky Schumer. Let's put one in the chamber. Why don't we just start out with the gong? Boom. Nice. Put another one on him. You get a little bit of recoil, but it's okay. It's supposed to. I'm going to go to the red plate, the shootsamsteel.com red square plate. Oh man, it swung it. Let's get it while it's moving. All right, hit a moving target. Amazing, huh? Try the center red plate. Oh, knocked him off. Well, as you can see, the sights aren't too far off, are they? Let's come back here and take out a 2-liter now. 45-70 will do it. And we've got to smoke a little pot early on here. Why don't we just take that can out? Oh, we're out of ammo. I guess we can't. So if you counted, you should have counted 9 if I counted correctly when I loaded it. All right. So, man, I am really happy to have these. I mentioned in that other video how I've looked at these, and I can remember 2 or 3 different gun shows or gun shops that I was in, and it's always haunted me that I walked away from them. And, you know, part of the reason was I just didn't really need, quote unquote, another 45-70, but this is one that has always appealed to me. The octagonal barrel, the full-length magazine tube. It's a Marlin, you know, they're made well. You know, in the old 1895, they came about around 1895, 1896, you know, and then I think they made them up until about the 1915, something like that. And then they reintroduced them in the early 1970s, I believe, and in lots of different variations. And then they started the Cowboy models like this one, I think, in around 2000. Okay, so in the way you determine when one of these is made, if you like this, the first two letters of the serial number are 98. You subtract the first two digits from 100. Now, I know my relatives in Kentucky could never do that without a calculator, but I can do it because I'm the genius, the one genius that came out of Kentucky from my family. So 98 from 100 is 2. See, I just like to impress people, my math skills. And so that means this one was made in 2002, all right? So, and you know, once you get up into around 2010 or 11, you get into that transition period, you know, when they were bought out. And there was a period of time when they knew they were sold, and I understand some of the quality dropped even then, you know, because they knew they were losing their jobs. And so it gets a little iffy when you get up into, you help me, what year is it? 2010 maybe, 9, 10, 11, along in there. And then the transition, 2011, then they started putting an MR, I think, as a prefix to the serial number after that transition was completed. So just watch for it if you're buying one, know what you're getting. As I pointed out in the other video, the new ones are not junk. They're just, I looked at part of that video again. I pretty much explained in there. I pointed out the difference. I pulled out my 94, and you can see in this one, just like I pointed out in that video, see how this thing is contoured, the wood, and it's got bunged up a little bit there because it's been used. But you see the fit and the finish on it is just better. And it's smooth. I mean, it really is. Of course, it's broken in. And I've noticed also, with this one, let's shoot some Federal, some good old 300 grain soft point. When you load it, you don't get pinched like on that other one. I was having to really avoid getting pinched. This one loads just like my 1886 Browning. Look at that. I haven't had any trouble with that at all. So it's a sweetie. And that's one reason I'm a gun show hound, gun shop too. I just don't know what you run into, you know. Yeah, and you may not run into anything. And often I'll take something to trade just because I don't, you know, just never know. I had a nice gun with me to trade at the Tulsa show. You just don't know what you'll run into that you've been kind of looking for. You may not run into it. So anyway, and I'm a lover of these vintage guns. Not all that vintage, right? 2002. But it's funny, you never know what's going to become a vintage gun, what's going to become at least collectible. You know, it's just because, you know, the company gets sold, they get bought out, or they all of a sudden they quit making a particular firearm that's really popular, or they start doing something different. You know, I joke about Glock. Of course, you know, I like Glocks pretty well. You know, something could happen with Glocks. All of a sudden they start doing something else to it that none of us really likes. You know, like the keyhole in a Smith & Wesson or something like that. And all of a sudden, next week, you know, every Glock made before 2017 is collectible, quote unquote. You just don't know what's going to happen in the industry, do you? 8 yards or whatever that is. Let's see if we can pop a 2-liter. Huh. I'm surprised the 45-70 will break those like that. Uh-oh. Let's try that 1 gallon can over there. Where'd the lid go? There, it just now hit. How about a 2-liter? And then, cinder blocks down there. Yeah, pieces of cinder. Oh, that's a dangerous area for the Cowboy. The bowling pin. Wow. So that should have been 9 rounds too. Yeah, it's a smooth functioning rifle. It was a good find. It's got a little scratch right there. I don't care. I don't care. I'll be honest, I would have paid another couple $100 for this thing. Don't tell the guy I bought it from, but I really would have. It was great. He had another one that just didn't have as nice wood in it at all, but it was an older one. And so I chose this one. Yeah, that was pretty nice. Pretty nice find. Just did not have enough 45-70s. You know, it's one of my favorite chamberings. So, you know what, we need to shoot some of these trophy bonded round, these bear claws, okay? That's some good stuff too. Oh man. It's amazing, isn't it, that I don't even hunt, but it's great ammo. We appreciate Federal furnishing this. And we do test it here occasionally though, so we know we're clear. Look at that, loads like butter. Oh boy, this gun wasn't made on a Monday or a Friday, was it? Or maybe all the guns made on Monday and Friday at the old plant were just made right, you know? They were just made right. So that's the reason, again, for you new folks, if you haven't gotten back and watched the other video yet, you better do it. I'll know if you didn't. The little JM there on the receiver, on the barrel, just ahead of the receiver on the left side of the barrel, that tells you, you know, there may be some that were there in the transitional period, I don't know, but if you get back into like 2002, of course, or in that vicinity, you'll find a rifle that's probably made well. It's probably made better than the new ones. But now, again, I don't want to bash them too much. I'm just glad they're still making them. We don't want them to go out of business. We just need to get them on the stick and making them well. Get their quality control up to snuff. Well, there's a metal can down there. I wonder if there's anything in it. Yep, I think it's into that pan. Thanks to old Bear Claw. Oh, a bowling pin. Yeah. I think that's why Federal loads them. Let's go back over there and, yeah, with these bear claws, we could probably hunt buffalo. So let's hunt one over there on the left. Oh yeah, we got him. We could also hunt ram. We might even hit one. Yeah, took him over. Get that other one. No question about whether or not it's going over, is there? I guess I shouldn't shoot a lot more. You know, one thing, that trigger's got a kind of a sharp edge on it there. Just a little, it's not too bad. I might need to take a Dremel to that. You know, if you've got a Dremel tool and a sledgehammer, you're basically a gunsmith, right? We'll load up one more time, okay? Anything else I was going to tell you about this? I do have the decelerator pad on it, of course. It gives me more length. Not as much worried about the recoil as I am just a little length. Although it does absorb some of the recoil, so you can't argue with that. So we'll put some of these babies in there. I mean, these are torpedoes, aren't they? You can't hate a 45-70 round. It's just it's nice. The old military round goes back to 1873. That's when the 45-70 came about in the trapdoor Springfield. Interesting history for this cartridge, and it is still very popular today, especially with me. So, I don't know how many I put in there. However many you saw me put in, I guess. So, I might take out a couple more animals. You know, this gun was just designed to hunt something. So, let's hunt something over there. I got a ram. Let's try a pig. Oh boy, roll him over. No hesitation. We need a turkey over there too. Wee-haw! Try that red square plate again. Ooh. Oh, there's a little bit of cinder over there on that barrel, I think. There was. Oh, another round. Gone. Another round. Gone. And she's empty. All right. Too much 45-70 play, right, on this channel. So I do want you to watch the other video, and you'll learn, I think you'll learn a little bit about Marlin and the history. I try to be fair. You had requested that I get one of these new guns from Marlin because there's so much controversy and everything, and I did it. I requested from Buds. We reviewed it and looked at it, and a little comparison there. I just didn't have an old one of these. I had my 94, which is similar. I did a little comparison there. So now I've got this, but I don't have the new Cowboy version of this. You know, they're really different firearms. That's why this is a different video. We may even do a chapter 2 with it sometime, probably a range 2, okay? Because you can probably tell already this is going to be one of my favorite rifles. I have a lot of favorite rifles, don't I? But it is going to be one of my favorites, and we will want to bring it out again to enjoy. And if you want, we can bring you along. You don't have to come. You know, as I've said before, a couple years ago, we clicked the tabs that did away with watching the videos mandatory. So now you have a choice. You don't have to watch them. We're just glad that you do, though. We really are, and we appreciate y'all. We don't thank you enough, really, for coming around and watching these crazy videos, because you guys make all this possible. You really do. And we get a lot of help from a lot of people, but it's because of you all. You know, we get right down to it. Okay, you're so easy to fool, right? No, we appreciate you all. We appreciate you supporting the people that support us, and you know, anytime we want to bring you to the range. You know, because we shoot out here every now and then, and you might as well come along with us. Okay, so again, this is the JM model in the 1895 Cowboy. Okay, Marlin, made in 2002, back before the transition, and boy, a lot of people are into collecting these old JM Marlins. They really are. And I'm not necessarily a Marlin collector, but I do have several of them just because I got them before that transition, I guess, mainly. So I really like this firearm. I guess you could tell that. Good thing I'm not doing a serious review of it, right? Because I haven't found anything negative. Let's see, what's the negative? Let me give you a negative before you leave. Don't leave yet. Okay, it is a little lighter than some other guns that fire that cartridge. It is a little bit lighter, so it's going to kick a little more. So just something to be aware of if you're thinking about one of these, in an old one or a new one. It's not very heavy until you get it loaded, and then it's heavy, right, with 9 big rounds. But so you get a little more kick than with my 1886 because it's a heavier gun, or my single shots 45s and 45-70s. Okay, so it's a little light for that cartridge, so you probably would want a pad on it maybe. And I guess that's really the main negative. It's not a little short rifle. It's not like the guide gun, so it's got a little bit of length to it, and it's got a little bit of weight to it. But it doesn't have a lot of weight to it, I meant to say. But it's a really, really nice rifle. I like it. Life is good.
All right, that was pretty good. I thought you said Glock a few too many times, but I think people will probably like that one. Wait a minute. Oh, I didn't realize you guys were still here. Okay. Well, since you're here, I'm going to tell you guys about some things that I usually tell you at the end of the video. And that is to check out SDI. They're the Sonoran Desert Institute. They're a fully accredited online distance learning program where you can be certified in gunsmithing and get an associate's degree in firearms technology. So if you need either of those two things or any of the things that they offer, go over to sdi.edu and check them out. Also want to make you aware of our friends over at vaultexsafes.com. You've seen their little pistol safes on our on the tables in the main range videos a few times. So go over to vaultexsafes.com, check that out, and also shootsomesteel.com. You can see their targets on our range. So if you like any of those, go over to shootsomesteel.com and see what all they make over there. And also, if you want to see us on other places on the internet, which sounds crazy, but you might want to see us somewhere else, then you can find us on Facebook under Hickok45, the main Facebook page, and then I have one just called John Hickok. And then there's an Instagram, the real Hickok45 on Instagram, and then there's mine, which is John_Hickok45 on Instagram. There's also our website, Hickok45.com. That's where you can find our t-shirts and different merchandise that we have for sale over there. You can also see our videos on Full30.com. And if I have to say, you can also, one more time, I'm probably going to, I don't know, but it's not going to be good. So I'll talk to you guys later.